Guys, welcome to the Plotly series. In this video, I'm going to discuss about different graphs. Particularly, I'm going to take the Plotly dot graph objects, which is very important package, which we are going to look at now. So first, I want to import libraries. So let me import now. Import numpy as np. These are the required libraries. Let's see this if there is any issues. No. So there is no any issues. Moving to the next one. So first what I'm going to do, right, I want to plot scatter, right? Scatter plot. So in this case what I'm going to do, right, I'm going to create two random variables, any data which you take. For example, okay, simple data I will take 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4 comma 5, and y is equal to, we can take some other data like 5 comma 6 comma 7 comma 8 comma 9. It's a simple data which I am taking now. Now you see that I'm going to plot the scatter plot. So here I have taken the x data, y data, and x data 1, y data 1. These are the two different data sets. One is a simple data just for explanation. Another one is a randomly we can take any data. So what I'm going to do, right, I am just going to add some piece of code here. The figure is equal to go dot figure. The go is actually like graph objects, which is one of the submodule under the Plotly, and we are taking the data is equal to, and this data is actually the complete plot which we are going to do it here. So like you can see here, x is equal to x data 1, y is equal to y data 1, which I am giving now. The mode is equal to markers. Even if you are removing the mode is equal to markers is also fine. So let me go and remove this code, and again I will add, and the figure dot show. If you're not using the figure dot show method, and what happens, right, it won't show the like graph. So what I will do, right, I'm going to execute this code. So when I go and execute this code, you can see that it's completely like new graph representations. But if you add the something like the mode is equal to markers, see, I can point each and every place, and you see that there is a x and y axis, right? So x data is 26, y data is 84 in this case, means that, so here the range I have given 1 to 50. So x is always in between the range 1 and 50. The y is always in the range between the 50 and 100. But the values which we can take 150 values in between the range basically. So if I'm going to use this mode is equal to markers and execute this, you see that complete this is showing in the markers format. This is how we can show the representations, right? And if you don't want to like this much big data, you want to understand very simple, I'm removing this data 1 and changing to the x data and y data. Now I'm going to run this simple graph. So it's very simple graph because we have very 5 data points, and each data points we are representing. So you see that first data point is 1 comma 5. That's where like 1 is in x data and 5 is in y data. So basically like we are plotting the data basically between the two different variables here, right? This is a scatter plot. We can easily see that, and more importantly thing is that we can easily visualize it each and every point when you move the cursor. One more important thing is that if you want to zoom it and zoom out, and if you want to reset the axis, and if you want to save it into the different, and if you want to take the download this plot as a png, all these things we can do it by using this Plotly. There is a little advanced one compared to the Matplotlib and Seaborn. Now let's talk about bar plot. Now you see that I've taken the data, the top 10 countries by GDP in trillion, but out of top 10 countries, I've taken only 7 countries. So I can change it to this top 7 countries by GDP in trillion dollars. And as for 2018 data, the countries are there, and also GDP in US dollars, of course, in the trillions. Now what I'm going to do, right, I'm going to apply the graph here. Okay, the graph here is figure is equal to go dot figure, and data is equal to go dot bar graph. In that I am passing the x is equal to countries, y is equal to GDP in US dollars. Now I'm going to plot this one. Now let me go and execute this. You see that the bar graph which is showing up. See, the similar, like all these icons will be shown again as already we have seen in the previous example. It's a similar fashion we can also see these graphs, and also see that United States here 20 comma 4 20.4, and here China and Japan, because of course these values are actually like in the descending order as we are already taking the top 7 countries, right? This is always data which is showing as per the GDP, right? But when you move the cursor to the each and every graph, then we can see the what is exactly the value here. So India is 2.8, and France 2.9, UK is 2.9, and similarly like Germany and Japan, other data which we are able to see it. The point we need to remember here, the differences between the scatter plot and this, and there is no much other than that the function usage. Basically the class which you are using here is the scatter. Here we are using the bar. So very simple, right? Here also we are using the x is equal to data, y is equal to data, and here also like x is equal to data, y is equal to data. Data here it is countries and GDP in US dollars, something like this. Okay, let's look into the another plot. Now I'm going to plot the pie chart with the same data. So let me copy this whole thing. So we will change according to the pie chart. So let me put here same data only, but this is the pie chart, pie plot. So it's nothing but the pie plot. So what we can do, right? So I'm going to change this one to the bar to the pie, right? And more important thing is there is no x axis, there is no y axis in the pie chart, right? As we know. So in this case, what we can do, right? We are going to take the labels. Labels is equal to countries, and instead of y, we are going to use the attribute name is called the values. If you see that the previous two plots, we are actually using the x-axis and y-axis, x data and y data. But in this pie plot, we are going to use labels and values. Now, what I'm going to do, right, I'm going to execute this code and show you that how data can be plotted. Yeah. And more important, nice point here, automatically this graph is taking the different colors, like automatically in the sense by default. So United States is in something like blue, China is in red, Japan is in green, something like that. All the colors are applied to the each and every data point. When you move the cursor, even it is telling the percentage also. So some of the information even you are not added in your code, but it is giving that information on the plot. So that is one of the uses of our importance, our advantage of the plotting, right? Okay, so let's move on to the another. So what is an histogram? The histogram is plots the continuous distribution of the variables as series of bars, and each bar is indicates the frequency of the occurring value in variable. Basically it talks about the frequency, how the variable, how many times the variable which is got repeated and all. Now I'm going to add the entire code here. You see that np.random.seed of 40. This is actually like save the state of random. And the next one is the x data is equal to np.random.random, that is 300. So what we are telling with this line, the one which I highlighted now, generating the 300 random numbers. And finally, we are plotting the histogram, the data which are passing here, x data. And you remember in the previous diagrams and all, what we have done, right? We have used the labels or values for pie chart, x and y for the both bar and scatter plots. But in these diagrams or in this plot, what we are going to do, right? We are going to pass only one x data. Now I'm going to execute this code and you see that histogram. Now I'm executing this code and you see that each and every bin is showing the values which is associated for that, right? So we can easily create histogram by using the plotting, which is like we can pass only one x data, one continuous variable we can pass. Okay, if you think, hey Raja, can you please pass another continuous variable, for example 1 comma 3 comma 4, and I'm going to pass your instead of this y is equal to y. Now I'm going to execute this code and you see that what will happen. So we are able to see the even like y data as well. So two continuous variables data also can be seen here. When I'm going to pass this one, this is accepted, right? Similar kind of things. Okay. So we'll discuss about another plot, and that name is like most important plot name is called the, anybody guess? Plotly name is box plot. That is our next thing. Let's talk about box plot. The box plot is mainly used for representation of statistical summary. So what kind of statistical summary? So basically we are going to find what is the minimum value, maximum value, first quartile value, and third quartile value, and the median value. So by using the box plot we can do, but in this plotly module we can easily do it. So I'm just going to take the same code which we have considered for the histogram, same code which I'm taking here. So I don't want here like y-axis. I will go for only x data, so which is randomly taken like 300 generating the 300 random numbers which I consider here, and you go dot figure and data is equal to go dot the name of the plot here, it is box. So box of x is equal to x underscore data. Now what I'm going to do, right, I'm going to execute this and you see that plot. Okay, and you represent, you just look at here, there is something which is you're able to see trace 0. I will talk in shortly. And each and every place, okay, so what is the lower value, what is the maximum value, what is the upper fence, what is the median, what is the quarter 1 and quarter 3, all the values which is showing you on the screen directly, right? So this is really amazing, right? You don't need to calculate everything, so it is showing the where the values is situated and what is the minimum maximum value, each and everything is showing to you. Okay, that's an amazing. And one more important thing is trace 0, right? If we have like 2 columns data, 3 columns data, 4 columns data, 6 columns data, if you want to see the distribution of the each column, assume that you have the data set. Each data set contains this, maybe data set contains the 6 and 7 numerical columns. All numerical columns data you want to trace out, like what is the entire box values, and also we can do it. Let's try something. So here we already have the x data. So what I'm going to do, right, I'm creating the y data similar fashion. It's like y data here. So instead of 300 I'll go for 150. Okay, just something like that. And this time the x is equal to x underscore data, right? So can I go and use the same figure, and you just plot in this case like y is equal to this, y is equal to, or x is equal to whatever it is. Okay, I'm just writing here in this case. Now I'm going to run this code, and you are not seeing any much flats here, right? But instead of writing the code like this, okay, so what we can do, right, I'm going to create a figure. So figure function, let me take this entire value figure and you just leave it. And we don't want this thing like this figure dot co dot figure. We are creating an object here. By using this figure object, there is a method called add underscore trace, which is the method, and we can add here. So like go dot box. Okay, so here in this case what we can do, right, we can take y is equal to x data, or y is equal to y data, which we can pass. Now I'm going to take these two figures and adding to the same object only. Same object in the sense object here is the figure only. So instead of x data, what I'm going to do, right, I'm going to take y data. Now I'm executing this code and you see that there is a two traces here. In the sense like one information for one column, another plot is for the another column. So like that we can create multiple traces. So this is how we can describe our descriptive analysis we can do on the box plot. Okay, so this is how we can use the plotly diagrams, we can work on it. These are all plots which I am telling very basic idea. Going forward we'll deep dive into the each and every concept, we'll get more ideas. Okay, this is only one like submodel called the graph objects. Same plots we can also do with the like another submodel which is there in the plotly, so we can discuss into the upcoming sessions. Okay, let me know if you have any questions regarding these plots. I will definitely answer your questions. Please write your questions into the comment box. Thank you so much.